Hello there, kia ora. There's a popular expression on the right of politics. Facts don't care about your feelings. It's meant to make having feelings seem like a bad thing, I think, or that governing to make people in society feel better is bad. It's, I don't know, probably woke or something. Well, the right of politics in Aotearoa New Zealand agree that facts, not feelings, should be the guiding principle in how they create policy. It's actually one of the reasons why they put into writing in the coalition agreements that facts and evidence should be used to create policy points. I know it's hard to find, but it's probably in there somewhere between removing RSE in schools, allowing grifters to get back to selling unregulated herbal remedies without any consequences, removing all of those mandates that were ended before the election actually happened, putting in place penis police to guard amateur sports ground changing rooms, checking what's people's pants, completely removing Te Reo Māori from government department names, or forcing local councils that had already gone through decision-making processes of their own to reverse those decisions to run expensive referendums that the government's not going to pay for. It's in there somewhere between all of those that they really do think that evidence is more important than vibes. But it does seem that there are some vibes that are more important. Those of the mysterious group of businesses who get polled about their confidence in the country's economic outlook. Because business confidence is just business vibes. And what do you know? The confidence levels are up. Like they always seem to be when conservative governments run down public sector services and drive up private sector usage while underfunding the public sector and running it into the ground are in power. We know these vibes are important though, because the government ministers who have spent the past few weeks sharing a few holiday shots of their holiday destinations have crawled out of the woodwork to celebrate the vibes and claim that it's a win, along with other stuff that they want to take credit for. Like Simeon here. He wants you to remember that inflation and interest rates are down under the current government. He's very careful not to mention the fact that these are the results of a huge range of factors, most of which don't come into play because of the government while they were in power or are beyond government direct control, like international exchange rates and supply constraints. Oh, and of course, Nicola had to have her say with this fun press release pointing out that business confidence is the highest since the first lockdown, meaning that the economy is going in the right direction. Vibes are not really there to dictate which way the economy is going. Only we all know that it's not really going in the right direction for the average person. Look, just this week, we got news to expect another fuel price increase at the pump. We got news that there are fewer people employed in some of our biggest sectors, that economic indicators like the number of houses being built are down significantly on the last few years. But Nicola tells us to rejoice because with business confidence comes business investment, which leads to growth. After all, even though the government gave a $3 billion incentive to landlords to keep doing it, the Prime Minister, the Prime Minister who had 7 houses when he started the job and sold 3 of them since becoming Prime Minister after moving the Brightline test so he benefits directly from policy changes, well, he keeps telling us that we won't get rich selling each other houses. So we need to find ways to grow business. Only the findings of the Business Vibe report say that their respondents are being cautious about investment and hiring, with 17% of firms actually firing or not replacing people who have left. Only they don't use the term firing. That's a mean word. It's actually one of the reasons why economists have said that we should expect to keep seeing unemployment rise throughout the year, to keep expecting to see mass migration and people going overseas, expect to keep seeing wage growth stifled, and keep expecting to see day-to-day costs increase. But don't worry, the Minister of Finance, who delivered the worst economic recession since the 90s, says some very specific vibes are on their side, which is really kind of impressive. In a depressing way when you consider that when the government took over, the Prefu report had shown a stronger economy than expected. That post-lockdown economic recovery that we had was, according to the OECD, some of the strongest in the world, and that had set us up with a very cautious path to success, with some of the lowest debt to GDP ratios in the world and economic focus built on avoiding unemployment built into legislative oversight in a recession could have been avoided. But the vibes weren't right. Pity the facts don't care about your feelings, because right now, for a huge number of Kiwis, the fact is we can feel how hard the economy is tanking and taking us with it. Every time we have to go out and buy a block of butter for almost $10 in a country where dairy is our main export product. But hey, business vibes are positive, so that's all okay. Hey, thanks for checking out today's video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe so you get more updates as we go along. We deal with these guys for the rest of the year.